精一杯大声で叫べ。スノボエのように声を上げよう。私の民に彼らの背きの罪を告げ、ヤコブの家にその罪を告げよう。しかし彼らは日ごとに私を求め、私の道を知ることを望んでいる。義を行い、神の定めを捨てたことのない国のように、彼らは私の正しい裁きを私に求め、神に近づくことを望んでいる。なぜ私たちが断食したのに、あなたはご覧にならなかったのですか？私たちが身を戒めたのに、どうしてそれを認めてくださらなかったのですか？見よ、あなた方は断食の日に自分の好むことをし、あなた方の労働者を皆圧迫する。見よ、あなた方は断食するのは、争いと喧嘩をするためであり、不王に拳を打ちつけるためだ。あなた方は今、断食をしているが、あなた方の声は井戸高きところに届かない。私の好む断食、人が身を戒める日は、このようなものだろうか。足のように頭を垂れ、荒布と灰を敷き広げることだけであろうか。これをあなた方は断食と呼び、主に喜ばれる日と呼ぶのか。私の好む断食はこれではないか。悪の絆を解き、くびきの罠をほどき、虐げられた者たちを自由の身とし、すべてのくびきを砕くことではないか。飢えた者にはあなたのパンを分け与え、家のない貧しい人々を家に入れ、腹けの人を見てこれに着せ、あなた方の肉親の世話をすることではないか。その時、暁のようにあなたの光が差し入れ、あなたの傷は速やかに癒される。あなた方の義はあなたの前に住み、主の栄光があなたのしんがりとなられる。その時あなたが呼ぶと、主は答え、あなたが叫ぶと私はここにいると仰せられる。もしあなたの中からくびきを除き、牛の指を刺すことや、つまらないおしゃべりを除き、飢えた者に心を配り、悩む者の願いを満足させようなら、あなたの光は闇の中に輝き昇り、あなたの暗闇は真昼のようになる。主は絶えず、あなたを導いて、焼けつく土地でもあなたの思いを満たし、あなたの骨を強くする。あなたは潤された円のようになり、水の枯れない源のようになる。あなたのうちのあるものは、昔の廃墟を建て直し、あなたの古来の礎を築き直し、破れを償う者、死骸を住めるように回復する者と呼ばれよう。もしあなたが安息日に出歩くことをやめ、私の誠実に自分の好むことをせず、安息日に喜びの日と呼び、主の誠実を栄えある日と呼び、これを尊んで旅をせず、自分の好むことを求めず、村口を慎むなら、その時、あなたは主をあなたの喜びとしよう。私はあなたに地の高いところを踏みゆかせ、あなたの父ヤコブ王の譲り地であなたを養うと、主の道口が語られたからである。Shout it aloud and do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their rebellion, and the house of Jacob their sins. For day after day they seek me out. They seem eager to know my ways, as if they were a nation that does what is right and has not forsaken the commands of God. They ask me for just decisions, and seem eager for God to come near them. Why we fasted, they say, and you have not seen it. Why we humbled ourselves, and you have not noticed. Yet on the day of your fasting, you do as you please and exploit all your workers. Your fasting ends in quarreling and strife, and in striking each other with wicked fists. You cannot fast as you do today, and expect your voice to be heard on high. Is this the kind of fast I have chosen? Only a day for a man to humble himself. It is only for bowing one's head like a reed, and for lying on sackcloth and ashes. Is that what you call a fast? A day acceptable to the Lord? Is this not the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice, untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry, to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Then your light will break forth as like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry cry for help, and he will say, Here I am. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry, and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always, and he will satisfy your needs as in a sun-scorched land and strengthen your future. You will be like the well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and raise up the age-old foundations. You'll be called the repairer of the broken walls, restorers of the streets with dwellings. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath, from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight, and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way, and not doing as you please, or speaking idle words, then you will find your joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the heights of the land, and to the feast of the inheritance of your father Jacob. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their God. They ask me for the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to God. Wherefore have we fasted, they say, and thou seest not. Wherefore we have afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Is it such a fast that I have chosen, a day of our man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread his sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast, an acceptable day to the Lord? Is this not the fast I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, that ye break every yoke? Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine house shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee, and the glory of the Lord shall be thy reward. Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger, and speaking vanity, if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy likeness shall be as noonday. And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, make fat thy bones, and thou shalt be like the watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. They that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt rise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on the holy day, and call a Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it.